Hello and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. So, quick question, if you publish your game, if your game has a price point of let's say $10, do you know how much you get to keep in the end? That's a very important question. If you want to make games for a living, you definitely need to know the math behind it. And if you've never published your game, you might be very surprised to actually hear the number. I definitely was surprised myself when I started publishing games on Steam and I realized what I was charging players and the amount that actually ended up in my account was such a massive difference. So yeah, basically like I wrote here, so whenever an indie publishes their first game, they're only surprised to see how little money they keep in the end. It is easy to calculate gross revenue, it's just sales multiplied by price, but definitely don't assume that amount is what ends up in your pocket. Now, I think most indie devs understand that if you charge $10, you don't actually get $10, specifically because I'm pretty sure every Steam developer knows that Steam takes a 30% cut, but that means that first-time developers might think, okay, so $10 minus 30% means $7, so that means I keep $7 out of each game. And the answer is sadly, nope, that is not the case. So here, basically one developer posted on Reddit their math and found out they end up with 42%. And yep, that's a rough math, although it's actually even lower than that. I can say for myself that the rough math that I got used to doing was basically just assuming 40% of this amount. And that includes currency conversion. So basically, if my games made $1,000 in 1 month, I would assume that at the end, I would keep about 400 euros. After several months, that math basically roughly worked out. Now, sadly, the original post was actually deleted by the user, but I actually covered the rough math in the video myself. So basically start off by the gross revenue, so that is the total amount. So basically take the price of the game multiplied by how many copies, that's your gross revenue. And then the first thing is actually missing from the list here. So before this step, there's another step, which is basically VAT and those kinds of consumption taxes that depend from country to country. For example, if someone in Portugal buys my game, they're going to pay a standard 23% VAT rate, meaning on a $10 game, $2.30 goes straight to government before any other math has happened. Whereas if that exact same game is bought by someone from Luxembourg, then it said it only takes away 17%. So that's basically the first step that happens before this. So VAT, which is going to depend greatly on the country from where your players are coming from. As far as I know, most states in the US do not have some kind of sales tax. So technically for those, that amount would be about 0%. But then if most of your players are in Europe, then that amount will be anywhere from like 15-25%. So yeah, basically that is the first cut that comes out of here. Then the second thing is refunds and chargebacks. Obviously, if a player refunds your game, you are not going to get that money. And if they do a chargeback in their bank, same thing. And like I wrote here, so refunds and chargebacks, they can be as low as 5% or as high as 25%. So that is really going to depend heavily on the game and basically how well you market the game, meaning how well do players know exactly what game they're buying. If you use basically clickbait, if you try to sell a game, but when players actually buy the game, they realize it is not what they bought, they will really just refund the game and you end up with refund rates as high as 25% or actually even higher. Famously, there was a game the day before. That was a game that was kind of like a scam game. Basically, they made a very well-polished video, but the actual game itself was nothing like the video. So yeah, that one ended up with like 46 to 50% of refund rate. That is an insane amount. So yeah, definitely do not trick players. Make sure marketing clearly says what the game is actually about, and that way you get fewer refunds. So after taking away refunds and chargebacks, after that, that is when you finally get net revenue, and that is when finally Steam takes their cut, their 30%. So this is one part that everybody knows about, the Steam's 30%, but there's all this stuff that happens before that. So first, all of that gets taken away, then Steam takes their 30% cut, and then they finally send you that amount. And then of course, once you yourself receive that amount, then you have to pay some sort of tax on it. Now that is again going to depend heavily on what country you're from. That is going to depend on what kind of legal structure do you have. So on this one, there's an insane amount of variety. So you can get anywhere from like 10% tax or even 0% tax for some countries, up to like 50% tax. Really, any of those are possible. That really depends on where you are located and how your business is structured. And actually another step before Steam actually sends you something is the US withholding rate. And this one also is going to heavily depend on what country you're from. It is going to depend on tax treaties. Now thankfully most countries do have tax treaties with the US. The default rate is 30%, so if you don't have a tax treaty, then basically after Steam takes their 30%, they're going to take another 30% that they give straight to the US government and they send you just the rest. But hopefully your country does have a tax treaty with the US, and if so, you can lower that amount to about 10% or maybe even 0%. And yep, after taking away all of that, then they finally do send the remainder, which like I said, then you pay the taxes on. Based on the math that this developer on Reddit did, they end up with about 42%. And like I said, based on my own math, yep, that about checks out. Usually I look at this and I assume I get about 40% of the total, and that is basically how I generate all my estimates. So basically, whenever you do market research to guesstimate how much your game might make, keep in mind this massive difference between gross and net. You cannot really run a business just based on gross revenue. It's always fun to look at it just because the numbers are obviously going to be bigger. But in practical terms, for money that you can actually use, obviously what counts is the net. So keep in mind that if you publish a game for $10, chances are in the end you get about $4. Now for me, I was definitely quite surprised when I got my first Steam paycheck. Like I said, back then I definitely did not know any of this, so this call came to me as a surprise. And then I became even more surprised when I realized I still had to pay some taxes. So yep, I was surprised to see that gross revenue, and then I received so much less And then talking to my accountant, oh wait, you still gotta pay taxes on it. So yeah, in the end case, everything turned out quite low. So like I wrote here, so in my case, taxes in Portugal are actually pretty high, so I keep around 30% of the gross. Meaning that if you buy my game Thinking Gardens for the normal $15 price point, at the end I get about $5.70 in my bank account. Although thankfully that has been enough for me to make a living as an in-dev for over 10 years. And yep, so this video where I talked about how to survive as game dev for over a decade, where I talked about how I made over $1 million in revenue. And again, this number sounds very impressive, sounds very awesome, but again, it is revenue. I definitely did not receive $1 million in my bank account. Nope, sadly the amount was quite a bit lower than that. So if you are about to publish your first game, as you are coming up with estimates for how successful or unsuccessful the game might be, definitely do keep this in mind. Remember how you do not keep the total amount gross. In general, the rough math is going to depend on a lot of factors, on your country and all those things, but in general, devs keep just about 40%. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide on how to make games, check out my free complete courses. For beginners, I've got my Kitchen Chaos course. It is 10 hours teaching you all about Unity game development. Or if you're preferring more technical path, check out my C# course. This one is 12 hours long and covers everything from the language, everything from beginner to intermediate to advanced. There's a free video on YouTube, and then there's a premium version with a bunch of awesome bonuses, like a companion project with actual interactive exercise for every lecture in the course you can learn by doing. And if you're already on the intermediate level and you want to take your skills to the next level, then check out my problem solving course. This one is focused on teaching you the most valuable skill of all. It's a very practical course with all kinds of exercises that you can do in order to gain tons of experience so you can gain this knowledge. This one also has a free version over here on YouTube and a premium version containing all the over 200 problems for you to solve in order to gain this really valuable skill. Check out all my free courses with the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.